So I want to talk about the growth that we've seen from this Packers team. Looking at last week in Atlanta, where the fourth quarter comes along, we're up 24-12. The team just disappeared. Defense disappeared. Offense disappeared. Couldn't do anything. Lots of us were wondering, okay, in those big moments, can Jordan Love drive the ball down the field and put the Packers in a position to win? Last week, that wasn't the case. But then this week, it's basically a completely opposite game. 3 quarters, we're like, now we're not going to play. Fourth quarter, everything just comes alive. The defense plays incredible. Jordan Love plays incredible. And I think just witnessing what happened from last week to this week, the Packers show that, yes, they can come in big game situations and get things done. And I think that's sort of just the growth you're going to see from a team that is so full of youth. There's so many young players on this roster, especially on the offense. If you look at Jordan Love's top 4 targeted receivers this past game, 3 of the 4 are rookies in their 3rd career NFL game. One of them, of course, is Romeo Doubs in his second game, or his second season. Doubs had 12 targets, Jaden Reed 7 targets, Luke Musgrave tied in 8 targets, and then Dontavian Wicks with 6 targets. So I know last year, Aaron Rodgers is in there to start the season. We were struggling a little bit, and we had the youth at receiver. We had Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs in their first season. We still had Lazard, Randall Cobb, and I think we gave Aaron Rodgers, lots of reasons for why it could take time for the offense to get clicking because he hadn't built that chemistry with his young receivers. And now we have Jordan Love with probably even a less experienced group compared to Rodgers last year, and Love was somehow able to pull off that victory. And I think it's pretty remarkable. If you look at the fourth quarter, to start the fourth quarter, it's 4th and 2. The Packers are 10 or 15 yards away from the end zone. And in that moment, you think to yourself, okay, 4th and 2, if we don't get this, the game's probably over. The Saints get the ball back. Only 14 minutes left in the game. And the Packers don't convert that 4th and 2. Love looks to Patrick Taylor. They weren't on the same page. It's an incomplete pass. But from that point on, from a fan perspective, you think, oh man, what are the odds of us actually coming back? And this Packers team did come back. And to see Jordan Love come in there when he was having trouble, I think, connecting with these receivers all day long, mainly due to the secondary. They were blanketing these receivers most of the day. There weren't that many open guys. But then all of a sudden, the Packers spread it out. Jordan Love sits back there, and he just delivered, pass after pass after pass, deep pass after deep pass, even though all day nothing had been working. All of a sudden, this Packers offense came alive. 2 defensive pass interferences called on the defense. And to witness Jordan Love do something like that has me pretty excited for the future, just because when you're looking around the NFL, NFL teams, you want to find a guy who in big time situations where you just need it. You need that, big drive. You need it to happen. Can you trust your quarterback? Most teams would, like to have someone like a Mahomes where when you're down 2-3 scores, which the Chiefs have been multiple times in the playoffs, they still know that they're in it because they have a guy in Patrick Mahomes. And I'm not saying Jordan Love is Patrick Mahomes, at least not yet, but to see what Love could do, not only with his arm, also with his legs, the intensity he brought, the energy he brought, you could just see how much this Packers team trusts him. Even all the quotes from so many players in the locker room after the game, from like Elton Jenkins, Preston Smith, they all believe in Jordan Love and what he can do. And after this win, the belief factor in that locker room has to have taken like another leap forward, because it's one thing to say, we believe we can come back in big game situations and get it done. We believe in Jordan Love. But until it happens, you're still believing, but until it happens, that's when that, where you're like, oh, yes, it actually can happen. We saw it happen. They believed it could. It happened in this game. And while, it would be nice to have a full four-quarter game where you just dominate the whole game, which did happen in Chicago, which was nice to see. Even though the first 3 quarters, we wish it could have gone differently, but just to see what this team can do when you're down, when you need it most. There's going to be games down the line, later in the season, playoffs potentially in the future someday, where you're going to be down and you're going to have to, rally back and come in when you're down 2 scores and try to make something happen. And Jordan Love showed that he can do it. And there's been a debate, is Jordan Love a game manager? Is he a special player? Because I think you look at the kind of quarterbacks you have in the NFL. You have your Patrick Mahomes types, your Josh Allen types, where you believe in that guy. You're down 7, you're down 2-3 scores. You still believe there's a chance they can rally you back just because of how special they are and the athleticism they have, their ability to escape the pocket, make things happen. And watching Jordan Love yesterday, it's still early. I don't want to make big proclamations after one game, but you can see the special in him. You can see those crazy arm angles. You can see his ability to escape the pocket, to break away when, his guys aren't open or the pressure's getting to him. And that's the kind of guy I want to have, in big moments, in the playoffs in the future. You want to have a guy like what you want to see the performance that you saw from Jordan Love yesterday. And so going forward, to the fact that we're at 2-1 right now, with all the injuries we've suffered, with the fact that this is the youngest team in the NFL, and we've still found a way to come away 2-1, and we have a big game here on Thursday against the Lions. That's going to be a big test, and if we can win that game, I mean, man, this is a pretty exciting team. But that is all I have for this one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.